Good evening, brothers. How are you doing tonight? I hope you're well. Tony, Joseph, Mike, good evening, guys. How you doing? Nice to see you hanging out already. Let me just move this camera a little bit. Perfect, I think. Perfect-ish. Cool. Yeah, awesome. Right. So, tonight I'm going to be looking at some Vanguard veterans. If you guys can hear me okay, please shout it out in chat. I'm always switching microphones. On different streams I have to use different microphones, so just want to make sure you guys can all hear me fine. Would love to stick around for the stream, but got to study for exams. Have a good night, all. Well, and good luck with your studying. Good luck with your exams, man. Cool, nice. What are you guys working on tonight? I am going to try and be slapping 3 colors on some Vanguard veterans. I have another 9 of them here. And all 9 of these guys are actually magnetized, so we can put lightning claws on all of them. So that's where I sit tonight. Just do you know what? I did pick one of the ones that I just finished painting as well, so you can kind of see them, what I'm going for. So this was a Thunderhammer one I finished a little while ago, and I mean, the gold, I guess, is a bit different from normal for Vanguard veterans, but and I guess these shields are a bit different from normal as well. But yeah, I mean, I think they look cool enough. So this is what I'm going for. And I am fielding Vanguard veterans. I'm thinking of fielding 2 squads, right? Good evening, Shades. Trying to make a dent in a Leviathan. Yes, I love it. I'm so glad that people have picked up Leviathans after the video. I love my Leviathan. I actually currently have it with the claw and the grab flux, but I have ordered a drill now because, I mean, I think the drill is just awesome. And some people actually got delivery, like one of my friends in real life got a delivery of the new Kill Team box today. So did anyone buy that? Does anyone actually have some heavy intercessors in the flesh today? I'd love to see some pictures of them if anyone actually has them, like in the Facebook group or in the Discord. That would be super cool. But yeah, unfortunately, I was stupid and ordered a new paintbrush with my heavy intercessors, and guess what? The paintbrush is out of stock. So it says that the paintbrush is going to come back in stock in like 2 or 3. Do you know what? It didn't really matter. Like, I have to paint these Vanguard veterans for a battle anyway. So it wouldn't have mattered if they turn up today anyway. I really couldn't have worked on them. But yeah, I ordered a paintbrush with mine, so I guess I gotta wait a few more days. Starting to pick some mega knobs. I remember you saying you were getting into orcs. Fair enough. I mean, I used to have an orc army way back. Do you know what? I'll tell you a funny story. The last orc unit I bought, and I guess you probably don't even get this unit anymore. I mean, I haven't read the Orc Codex in a while. But I bought, what was it? Orc Boar Boys? I probably still have the box. They came in like this horrible green box in the early 90s, and it was just basically orcs riding boars. And maybe they had like chains, swords, and autoguns or something like that. That's going way back though. That was the last orc unit that I bought. So yeah, it's been a long time since I did orcs. That's for sure. More Outriders. Do you know what? We haven't done a video on Outriders yet, but I guess we will do a video on them soon enough. I'm trying to do a video on pretty much every unit choice that we can get. I want to cover everything. So I guess there will be a video on Outriders at some point, but do you know, right at the start of 9th edition, I played with Outriders and didn't have the best results with them, and I kind of benched them maybe a bit quicker than I should have. Maybe I'll try them again at some point. But right now, my priority is these Vanguard veterans, and I think I have a really competitive list. I don't know if you guys saw the picture that I sent yesterday in Discord, but I've basically set up. Do you know what? I can probably show you on stream real quick. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Yeah, let me flip to this. So this is what I was setting up yesterday, and it's to do with the stream, I guess, in that, like, oh, 1 second. Now, so see this. This is like one overhead camera looking down over a board. This is another angle on the same board. This is like a close-up of the dice tray, and then this is like a custom scoreboard that we'll have as well. So, I mean, I guess this is just with an OBS because I was trying to test it and set it up. But we're gonna have, like, so basically like multi-angled camera, like, I don't know what you even call it, but like basically we're gonna have like 2 cameras and a dedicated dice tray camera and a scoreboard app, and it's all gonna run in real time, I guess. So like the next time we play a live game, the quality of that live game or the broadcast hopefully is gonna be like way better. And I'm thinking that we're gonna do that around the 15th. I think it's a Monday, and because we haven't played in like 3 months at this point, we may actually just play games all day. So I might have like a 12-hour live stream or something going on Monday the 15th, where it's just like one game after another, try and test out some of these armies. I've spent the last 3 months math hammering and figuring out, so it's going to be so nice to get back to the tabletop after such a long break. And it's probably the longest break I've had in like a few years. It's weird. Thankfully I used a drill before the Forge World shortage you have caused. Yeah, I mean, I guess some people were saying as well that the Forge World Blood Angels Leviathan is all sold out as well, so maybe we've caused a little bit of a I don't know. I just want to make sure that when I'm making my own army lists, I am picking absolutely the best choices, because I want to be really competitive, right? I mean, it's not... That's it, right? And if that means I'm sharing what I'm doing with you guys, then all the better, right? Like, I want to... There's so many variables now, you know, like some people were saying on the Sanguinary Guard video that I didn't cover all the advantages that Sanguinary Guard have, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, I probably didn't cover, you know, that Sanguinary Guard can do heroic interventions and stuff like this, but it's like I was just mainly trying to look at survivability and damage. But yeah, I mean, in every video there's so many variables, so I guess you got to take the videos that I make, I guess, with a pinch of salt. And I mean, everybody puts their own spin on their army list, right? But like, if I can at least let you know, like, hey, against Dreadnoughts, Vanguard Veterans are like way better than Sanguinary Guard, right? They do more damage for sure. They're way more survivable again. Like, if you're fighting into like Dreadnoughts that have Dreadnought combat weapons with -3, then 100% your Sanguinary Guard are going to be more... the Vanguard Veterans are going to be more survivable. They're going to do more damage. So I just want everybody to be well informed and know that. And also at the start of the battle as well, if you see the opponent put all their Dreadnoughts on a flank, then you could be like, right, well, that would be a good flank for my Vanguard Veterans to go and attack, right? Because there's all these Dreadnoughts there, and I know they're more effective against Dreadnoughts than Sanguinary Guards. So just trying to provide value, I guess, is the goal for the videos. And yeah, there's some things that, like, it's impossible to cover every variable. There's so many variables in 40k, but I just do my best. What blue are you using? So this is the blue I use for all my thunder... Or I was going to say thunder hammers? No, this is the blue I use for all my power weapons. And it's the Thang. I mainly just use it for power weapons. It's sort of like a darker blue. And I may lighten it up on these lightning claws, like with an edge highlight of something like... what's the blue I use for edge highlighting? 1 sec. Oh, shit, cut the camera. Okay, so, let me move this camera again 1 sec. Yeah, for my power weapons, I start with the Thang, right? And then I do something like an edge highlight with blue horror, and sometimes I try and draw lightning on them. And then I also go to Gilliman blue. So I actually have a power weapon that I did earlier today. So this is going to be for my Death Company Sergeant. So that's sort of the end result. I mean, it's not a difficult result to achieve. It's quite quick, I guess. But I mean, I think it looks decent enough. So yeah, start with a Thang, then go to like an edge paint for blue horror to do those lightning bits, and then just basically glaze it with Guilliman blue. So nothing too fancy. Most of my paint jobs are actually, you know, like when they don't do it now, but in the old edition, when they put like a million colors on the back of the boxes, like I never did that. You know, like I always thought the number of colors they put on the back of the boxes was a bit intimidating. It's like you're gonna need like 50 paints to paint this one squad. Most of my squads I paint with like less than 10 colors, I'd say. Hello brothers, I'm sorry I've not been so active, just started a new job, but I love your channel, and brothers, but on that note, I love how John wants to run 2 units of Vanguard veterans. Yeah, Jonathan, it's all good. You can be as active or as inactive as you want here. Everybody has real life commitments, so I ain't going anywhere, so don't worry. We'll be here whenever your real life stuff ends. You know, I am not... If anything, I'm getting more into 40k since I started this channel. I mean, I was pretty into it before, but if anything, I'm more into it now. So, yeah, we're not going anywhere, Jonathan, so don't worry. Good evening. Hobbing window is open. Let's get painting. Yeah, tell me in the chat what you guys are painting tonight. I'd love to know. And yeah, did anyone manage to get hold of heavy intercessors? And if so, are you starting on them already? Like, is anyone really fielding heavy intercessors? I really fancy trying heavy intercessors with a sergeant with quake bolts, right? Like, because I think with those executioner rifles, they're like 42 inches. Like, I think that basically, if you could get some, like a sergeant with quake bolts on elevated terrain, you could pretty much just use him the whole game, quake bolting across the battlefield wherever you need it to be. I think that would be pretty cool. But I guess we'll see. I will try it at some point, probably. Ventra says, evening, just wanted to let you know that the doors for the Cerberus are on their way finally. Sorry for the delay. Oh, dude, thank you so much. I was actually thinking about that. I was like, I wasn't sure if I should just go ahead and order some doors, so I really appreciate you sending those over. Thank you so much. That's very kind of you, man. I will send you a model back once I get the Cerberus. If you didn't put your address in the box, then, you know, DM me on Facebook and I'll send you something to say thank you for sending those doors, because I have some doubles of like characters and I've got some other bits and bobs, so yeah, please hit me up on Facebook and let me send you something back to say thank you. But I'm excited to get the doors for the Land Raider. I always like the custom Blood Angel stuff. Like, I don't like the cost of it, right? But like I do really like trying to make my stuff feel more Blood Angels all the time. It's important to me. I mean, all these Vanguard veterans are using like Sanguinary Guard and Death Company parts, like their Death Company legs. This is like, as I say this, you can literally see this guy has Death Company legs because he's got the red cross on his knee from a Death Company. So I'm always trying to use bits. I mean, I kept the chest piece, the Vanguard veteran chest piece, so the squad kind of matches. But for like the legs and the shoulder pads and the heads and stuff, I'm always trying to use Blood Angel specific things to give them a bit of character. Been a rough week, honestly. Had a murder in my small town, had to work security perimeter for 2 days, and a close friend of the family lost her battle with Northern Hero. I'm sorry to hear that. It sounds like you've had a really tough week. Try and stay strong, I guess. Yeah, life sometimes throws you curveballs and you got to deal with them, man. And I mean, I don't know, over here some of us are really struggling with the lockdown. You know, it's affecting people's mental health. If life can feel a bit samey, or it can feel like nothing's going, so you know, I guess that's one great thing about this hobby, is like this is a hobby that we can at least do while everything's locked down. So I've got that going for me, but you know, other people are maybe not so lucky, I guess. Evening, brothers. Can't stay too long, but I thought I'd pop in and say hello. Good evening, Michael. Thanks for tuning in just for a little while. Nice to see you. mix twin lightning claw, and storm shield vanguard veteran support. How good is that? I mean, the lightning claws and the storm shield squad is very good. If you want to mix in double lightning claw guys as well, go for it. I haven't mixed any in, but I seem to really rate survivability for units. Like, I think it's I possibly put more weight on survivability than anything else, because if your unit can't survive, then it can't score points, it can't fight back, you know. So for me, I'm going to run 2 Vanguard veteran squads, I think, in my next battle, and I'll basically be going, like, quote-unquote ham with them. Like, one squad will be super aggressive, because they are a very survivable squad, because they all have storm shields. So, you know, like, I'll be more aggressive with those squads in a hope to, you know, do more damage. But I mean, if you want to, it's 100% viable to switch out some of them for double lightning claw guys. Like, there's absolutely no problem with that. Some people make it work. I mean, maybe you just need to play the strategy a little bit different. But you know, I'm just going full storm shields on everybody. I've already been running a squad of Vanguard veterans, like I said. Like, I've got one of the guys here painted, so I've been running squads of these guys anyway, with like thunderhammers, chain swords, like every weapon but lightning claws, it feels like, and they've been doing absolutely brilliant for me. So I'm just adding 9 more with lightning claws, I guess, and they're all storm shields. But if you want to run double lightning claws, you know, go for it. Where do the little helmets come from next to the comments, Ross? So Ross, there's underneath all the videos on YouTube, there should be. If you're on iOS, there might not be, because iOS is a bit funny. But if you're on PC or any other platform, there's a join button underneath the YouTube video, and basically, like, for a couple of bucks a month, you join the channel and you get a few perks from joining, I guess. And there's a little video there you can watch as well. And one of the perks is you get little custom Blood Angels emojis and custom. You get little banners for how long you've been a member and stuff like that. So if you want to check that video out, if you want to check that out, you just need to hit the join button, and it should be under all my videos. But for some reason, it's not on iOS. I think it's like, it's nothing to do with me. It's like to do with Apple. And you know what? I actually have an iPhone, so yeah, it's just Apple, or for some reason they don't let you join, I guess, because they need to get their cut of all money that goes through the Apple platform, which is madness, because Apple are the first. I think it said last year Apple were the first company to make $1 billion profit or something. Like, that's not even like, wait, they just made $1 billion, which is like, or was it 100 billion? I don't remember, but it was like one with like 12 zeros after it or something. Like, they made this much profit, after, I'm sure the top guys at Apple take home plenty salary, right? I was like, why do they need to make a cut off like me making $3 on YouTube? But apparently they do, you know. Good evening, Stephen. How you doing? Nice to see you. Falling behind a bit on the chat. It's really. Oh yeah, Adam. Hey Adam. I got your list to add for the review today. Actually, I haven't had a look at it. I've had a lot of comments on YouTube actually again this last couple of days. So as you guys know, I reply to every comment. So it's been keeping me a little bit. It's been keeping me busy. I may actually be getting to a point where it's not sustainable. Like, I have enough followers now where it might actually be becoming not sustainable to reply to every YouTube comment. Like, before I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to reply to every comment, no problem. I mean, that's fine when you have, you know, 10 comments on a video, but like, one of my videos from last week had like 1,000 comments on it. So like, every single time I had a free minute, I was just on my phone replying to comments, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, as well, anyone that's new to the stream or anyone that's just here for the first time, we are doing a giveaway tomorrow, right, on the Army Show at 4 o'clock. Let me finish this Lightning Claw and I'll show you what we're giving away. I should have probably mentioned that earlier, but I'll mention it now. I'll show you what we're giving away, and I'll tell you how to enter, because it's super easy to enter. It'll take you like literally 2 minutes to enter, and you can win some Primaris multi-part kits. Cool. Alright, let me show you this. We have tomorrow, the giveaway is just after 4 p.m. It'll be live, so you can come and hang out tomorrow if you want to see the Army List show. Primaris Eradicators, the Storm Speeder, and the Blade Guard Veterans. We're giving away all these tomorrow. And all you got to do is you got to find my video about the Leviathan Dreadnought, which was like last Friday. I mean, if you go to the Bloody Angels Commander channel YouTube page, you'll see it. It'll be right there on the front page. It's one of the most recent uploads. It's probably like 6 or 7 on the most recent uploads. You literally just need to put a comment on that video. You can say anything you want. You can just say, "Hi John." You can say, "Hi, I really want to win some models." You know, do whatever you want on the comments, but all you got to do is put a comment on that video. And what we'll be doing 100% is we're doing a draw tomorrow to give away those 3 boxes of models. So just finished building my Leviathan drill with Siege today, John. Nice, Michael. Good evening, Krychek. Greetings, Marcel. Matt says, good evening, been working on the Utility Librarian today. Bigu says, hello guys, how you doing? I'm a bounce, have a nice evening. Have a nice evening, Joseph. The Quake bolt pistol on the Vanguard Veteran Sarge with Thunderhammer is done, so I can always go even if in combat. Do you know how to read my list? I think I've got a list from you, Julian, to review. I'm pretty sure I saw it in the queue. So I'll be getting but yeah, so I think I've got I'm like 90% sure I saw a list from you in the queue for like a review in a pretty, what am I trying to say, in a stream coming up soon. That's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I had a pretty chill day. Got up this morning and started working on the 2 captains that I'm painting on bikes, and I need to do a Math Hammer video on the Death Company captain on a bike, but I do think he's a badass, and I do think Hammer of Baal is really interesting on the Death Company captain, just because of the ability to get the reroll 1s from Death Visions, and also from the ability to get like additional attacks based on the number of models close to him. Hey, just building a Whirlwind right now. Nice. Welcome to the Whirlwind Club. I mean, everybody's getting Whirlwinds right now. They are generally pretty good. They're going to be super used. I mean, I haven't played now for like 3 months, but like I imagine that a lot of my army lists going forward are going to include the Whirlwind. I mean, it didn't seem such an important pick before like Death Guard and Dark Angels, and I guess as new codexes come out, it'll be even more important, I think, the Whirlwind. So nice pickup. Good evening, Highland. Yellow helmet in the chat. Nice. Welcome to your 2nd month as a member, Highland. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you so much for being a member. I don't know if you saw the screenshot that we were doing yesterday, Highland, but I've got, like, I spent like 7 hours yesterday, like, working on the setup for like our next live game, so we can stream it like at a higher quality. And like, I've got 3 cameras set up now. I've got a dice tray specific camera, so like it'll be really easy to see the dice. I've got a much better overhead camera, and I've got yeah, and I mean, I guess like we've got a much better scoreboard as well, I think. So the next live stream, the production should be a lot better. I mean, we only actually did one live stream before, like, we got locked down into COVID. So I guess the first one was a learning experience. But you know what? This one will be a learning experience as well, really. But we're penciling in Monday the 15th, and hopefully, if everything goes well, we'll be streaming live all day, maybe like 2 or 3 games on Monday the 15th. And I know for a fact I'm starting by up against Custodes. So that'll be an interesting matchup, because Custodes are, I mean, they don't have their new codex yet. And, you know, I think because they don't have their new codex yet, they don't have the core rules yet, I guess. So it might be quite a tricky list to take on, you know? Because they might essentially lose some of their power when the actual 9th edition codex drops for them. Tony Stark is the veteran in blue, yeah. But yeah, it seems mad. Like, I just got finished painting 11... I think it was 11 Vanguard veterans I painted. And you know what? I've had Vanguard veterans for the longest time, but like for a long time. Do you guys do this? Do you guys buy boxes of stuff and then just never get into it, right? For example, like, I think I've got a Devastator squad that's just like on sprue in the box. And at some point, I guess what happened at some point, I was like, oh my god, I need another Devastator squad. And then I bought it, and by the time it arrived, I'd already changed my tactics to something else. And it's just like, probably have this Devastator squad in this box now for like 2 or 3 years. And I feel like that's what I did with my Vanguard veterans as well, in that, like, I had a few Vanguard veterans and they were just in the box for like the longest time, like 2 or 3 years. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh my god, Vanguard veterans with lightning claws are amazing. Now we'll just have to make 20 of them. But I was trying to... Because I thought I bought a Death Company, like the new Death Company, mainly because I was disappointed that the Death Company Intercessors didn't come with like a proper Death Company sprue. You know, they just came with a Primaris upgrade kit, which I thought was a bit shit. Like, if you're gonna sell a box of Death Company, at least put some Death Company shoulders and stuff in there. Like, why, you know, that... I don't want to say it seems lazy, but it doesn't seem right, I guess. Like, if I'm buying Death Company, I want to get Death Company pieces. So I bought a Death Company just so that I have like more of the shoulder pads and the heads and stuff. But like, they're just, I think they're pretty much just sitting in the box like a full Death Company. Like, I don't know when or where these guys will ever be used. I probably have already like 30 Death Company with jump packs. But we've got them nonetheless, I guess. So have you guys seen the wings on the Raven Guard 30k guys? I was thinking of adding them to my Vanguard veterans. Make them Melter Gravis for the drop pod. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could. Yeah, do you know what? That's a... you just reminded me, Highland. The drop pod is in its box. It hasn't even been opened. Well, I mean, I opened the box to look inside it and was like, oh, that's a drop pod, and it doesn't look too difficult to assemble, and that's as far as I've gone with the drop pod. And if... Technically, I should have had a group of heavy intercessors and another sergeant arriving, or another captain arriving today from the kill team box. So yeah, I'm just so backlogged. Plus, I keep talking about wanting Centurions. Like, I really just fancy getting some Centurions. I think I've just always wanted Centurions. Ever since I saw them, I was like, oh, those guys look cool. So I don't know how competitive they will be. I don't really think they'll be that competitive at all, but it doesn't change the fact that I really want Centurions. And I'll probably field them in some battles just for the fun of it, right? I think there's some fluff on this guy. 1 second. Or it's like some paint has got attached to a bit of string or something when he was getting undercoated. There we go, I think. Don't know what that was. If you want to link the 30k guys, man, so we can see these ones that you're talking about, that'd be cool. But do you know what? There is some really fun Forge World models you can make conversions with. Like, I generally like Forge World a lot for the conversion opportunities, if nothing else. I mean, I like the Forge World tanks and their dreadnoughts and stuff as well. I think they're pretty strong, but the conversion opportunities as well are great. You know, my company captain is going to be, you know, he's a conversion for Forge World. Obviously, he's not finished. I was just slapping 3 colors on him so he could get onto the table, but yeah, you know, he's Forge World. So I generally like the Forge World stuff a lot. They showed them off in Tabletop Tactics Flesh Tear video. Ooh, I need to check that then. Dawnbreakers have some really nice, unique jump packs. Not quite wings, though. Yeah, I mean, do you know what? I really actually like the other ones. I think they're the Angel's Tears with the little pistols. Those guys look badass. I mean, it's so sad that we don't have anything like that we could sub them for, because they're one of the coolest squads, I think. I mean, the Dawnbreakers are good as well, and I guess their spears are pretty cool, and their helmets are pretty unique, and I think their chest pieces and armor as well are pretty unique as well, right? But yeah, I think it's the Angel's Tears or something. The guys that have the Volkite pistols, like they dual wield them. Those guys look super dope. Like, I would love to be able to get some of those. Just loaded up to take. I've just loaded up to take away some. Alright, I'm not... Sorry, Stephen, I'm not understanding. You've loaded up to take some away with me, git. I guess you're saying you got 10 Sanguinary Guard, 5 Death Company, wife got me an ATV. Funny, I'm looking at a Whirlwind. Yeah, if you haven't bought the Whirlwind, I'd advise you buy it. I think it's a very strong pick for us right now. The guaranteed... It's pretty much guaranteed Overwatch denial, and guaranteed that the enemy will fight you last in both your turn and their turn. And I think that's the important part with it. Like, if the enemy charges you and you make them fight last with a Whirlwind that's 72 inches away for 1 CP, to me that seems really, really strong. The wings look awesome for me, but I want to keep the wings for special characters and Sanguinary Guard, not fashionable, I know. I use the Forge World chest piece to convert my Blade Guard Sergeant. They do make some lovely pieces. I'm not sure how you... Would they be the right... Forge World don't do any Primaris models yet, right? As far as I'm aware, I guess? Like, I don't... Yeah, that's a good... Like, how did you do a Blade Guard Sergeant with a Forge World piece? Because they don't do any Primaris size kits, do they? Or was it just like... I suppose some of the Forge World characters are a little bit larger than regular Marines, I suppose. So maybe that's what you mean? I mean, kit bashing is as much or as little effort as you put into it, Ross. I mean, like, you just need to... I mean, you can do a simple kit bash, I guess, by, like, just, like I said, like, buy a box of Sanguinary Guard or buy a box of Death Company and just open them and pull out all the pieces, and you'll be able to do some sort of random kit bashing. But if you really want to do something crazy, then... I mean, we do have a Facebook group and we do have a Discord. Both are in the video description links. Or sorry, both those groups are in the video description below. So, I mean, if you join the groups, and you give people an idea of what you're trying to make, I'm sure people can help you or push you towards certain models to buy. And then there are some resellers as well that different people use. Like, for example, I use a place called Cromlech, and it's an EU place, and like all these storm shields that I'm using on these Vanguard veterans, these are all custom storm shields. Just because I was gonna get charged a ridiculous amount of money to buy the number of storm shields I needed from eBay, and I was like, I'm not willing to pay like $5 per storm shield. Whereas Cromlech were going to sell me 10 storm shields for like £11, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'll pay that. There's no way I'm paying like £5 per storm shield when I need 20 of them. I mean, at that point, it would have been cheaper to just probably buy like 2 or 3 more boxes of Vanguard veterans, because you get 4 storm shields in the box. So yeah, I mean, it would have been cheaper to just buy the boxes and then try and sell all the parts. So it's like, I'm not doing that. B Commander, I've come up with 2 alternative lists, 1 double patrol with 2 laser destroyers, and 2 a patrol and Vanguard with 2 ironclad dreads. I'll type it up and post for comments. Just share it, man, in the community, and I'll do one of the lists on stream. Like, it's absolutely fine. I mean, you're a member, so I mean, members get priority on their army list. So just, I'd love to see the list with 2 laser destroyers, because math hammering a laser destroyer, I guess, is on the list of to-dos. Like, I don't know if it's my highest priority right now, but I mean, I do want to do it based on like what you and other people have said about how it's super good. And also, like, I actually think it's super good just from looking at the war scroll, right? Like, any vehicle that can do flat 6 damage is generally great, because once they fail 1 save, it's just like 6 damage. It's just amazing. Just can punch through anything, and against like simple things like rhinos and stuff, it just tears them up. I definitely keep the bodies 2 and add lightning claws and shields. Yeah, I mean, lightning claws and shields are great. I'm using them on obviously these Vanguard veterans, and I'm using them as well on company veterans. And Canis Duris, I hope I'm saying that right. Welcome, thank you so much for becoming a member, dude. I mean, it should have popped up on the stream. There we go. That's so appreciated, dude. Thank you very much for becoming a member. There are some member-only posts over on the community tab that you can check out now. And yeah, I mean, please join the Discord. There's a member-only channel in there, so if you need to get a hold of me for anything at all, and also, like, quite a few of the videos I make are based on members' suggestions as well. So if you have suggestions and stuff, and you want to see certain things statted out or math hammered or tactics, then we do that too. So appreciate you joining, brother. Thank you. We need a new Dante and Astaroth model bad, says Davey Pikey. Yeah, I mean, spoiler if you haven't read the newest Blood Angels book, but in the newest Blood Angels book, Dante tried to, well, he didn't try, I suppose. He was going to go through with the Primaris Rubicon and basically become a Primaris Marine, but, like, they wouldn't let him. I think it was Mephiston that wouldn't let him. Do you know what? I've read the book and I read it not long ago, so I should remember who didn't let him. But yeah, he basically wanted to do it because he's old as all hell now. So I think it's only a matter of time before Dante takes the Rubicon. So I think we will get a Primaris Dante. 2021 is going to be a tough year for Games Workshop, right? With the pandemic and everything still going on, and they're having supply problems, and like a bunch of their models and stuff are actually coming from China. That's why those Indomitus made to orders took so long to come, apparently, because they were coming from China. Like they took 3 months, I guess, to ship across from China. So I guess my thought is that, how like halfway through 8th edition we got those Psychic Awakening books, and I guess that was maybe like a year into 8th edition. Maybe this time around it'll be like 18 months into 9th edition, so maybe like end of 2021, maybe beginning of 2022, they'll have done all the codexes, they'll start doing those Psychic Awakening books, or the equivalent for 9th edition, and what that usually means is armies will get a slight overhaul of the rules, and maybe they'll get one new unit or one new character. You know, like last edition we got Mephiston, you know, Ultramarines got Kalgar, Space Wolves got Bjorn, was it? I think it's Bjorn. I don't follow Space Wolves too closely, honestly. I only have, do you know what, I have 2 friends that play them, but I usually tend to win those games, so maybe that's why I don't follow them. If either of them watching on stream right now, they'll be mad that I said that. But yeah, I do tend to usually beat Space Wolves. But yeah, so I think at that point, like, I'd be really surprised if it's any other character than Dante. I would be surprised. I feel like, because I think that they know everybody's waiting and wants a new Dante, and like right now, I obviously have a painted and finished Dante, right? But like, I don't know if you saw the photos that I shared in Facebook this morning. I'm working on a new chapter master on a bike because I honestly think he's stronger than poor Dante is right now. You know, and I guess you'll see him live on stream in like a week's time when we play some games. Have you guys seen the Soul Hater? Amazing conversions, custom stuff. I haven't seen the Soul Hater. I'm not entirely sure what that is. But yeah, I mean, again, if you link it in Facebook or something, then I'll be able to see it, and we can check that out. But I mean, yeah, I mean, one thing I would say as well about kit bashing is, like, you just have to start somewhere, right? Like, if you just need to start, you know, start with like a captain. Like, everybody needs captains. You need them on a jump pack, or right now you could get one on a bike. So just find a bike on eBay for a few bucks, right? Like, the way I did it was I literally bought a bike on eBay for like £6 or something. So buy a bike, you know, just use the legs that come with the biker, and then convert his upper half with like Sanguinary Guard pieces, with Death Company pieces, with any other bits and bobs you have. Do you know what? I'll show you like a super easy conversion that I did, Ross. And it's literally on a biker, like I said. So I just literally cut 2 chainswords, and so this is just literally a chainsword, and right here where this wings bit is, I don't know if you can see it, there's a cut. You'll see it if we look underneath, because I've got a little bit of plastic here to like hold them together. So it's like, I literally cut 2 chainswords apart and stuck another chainsword here. So this biker has basically got like a double length chainsword, so it can be like, this is going to be the Teeth of Terra. So this is a biker that's wielding Teeth of Terra. So that's like, if you want to kit bash something super easy, then there's a conversion or a super easy start for something fun you could do. And I want to see a list with 2 ironclads. Yeah, let's definitely send the list with 2 ironclads. Let's look at that on stream. It won't be this weekend. We have member videos for the next 2 weekends, I think. So the queue for army list submissions for members right now is like 2 weeks away. But for non-members, the queue's actually starting to get a bit... It's like 10 weeks or something. Like, I get a lot of submissions every week for army list reviews now. Which is cool, because I remember when I started this channel 1 week, like, I think I had 1 submission, and I actually thought I was just going to have to cancel the stream, because I was like, oh, no one submitted any lists this week, oh well. But now we're actually at a point where, like, there is a long queue for list submissions for non-members. But yeah, submit, you know, please submit any lists you have, because I always like looking at them, and they always open my eyes and everybody else's eyes to all the different tactics that we can do, which is pretty cool. Alright, give me 1 second, I gotta catch up on this chat, I'm like way behind. B Commander, I was rolling dice, it constantly pops a tank on turn 1 if no invulnerable. If you have a Tech Marine for +1, then he's better for a Vindicator. Maybe I need to buy an Ironclad Dreadnought and just have one and add it to my list. How many points are they? I have squeezed a Primaris Tech Marine Master of the Forge with Warden trait 2. Beat down the middle with a Chapter Champion. Interesting. Hey Origin Painting, how are you doing? Good evening, brother. Congrats on reaching 500 subscribers, Evan. Really happy that you did that. You have a giveaway. Was your giveaway today? Did I miss it? I didn't see it pop up on my Facebook. Or not my Facebook, my phone, sorry. I'm excited to play some live games, honestly. I'm so sick of not playing games. I've probably made like 15 army lists in the time that I've not been able to play, so it's like hard to even choose which army list I want to play with, but I kind of know what I'm going to do. And I'm probably going to run 2 squads of Vanguard veterans, honestly. I'm probably dropping my Death Company. And I feel a little sad about that because, you know, like I've run Death Company now for a long time. Like probably every army list since about 4th edition has included Death Company. But yeah, I think I'm... Hey Ross, thank you. We got a member spree tonight. Awesome, thanks guys. That is awesome. Really appreciate it. I hope you can, you know, make sure you join in the Discord. There's a members only room. That's probably the best way if you need to ask me a question or anything like that, and I can get back to you. And like I said, we'll get, you know, you'll get priority on your army lists and all that sort of stuff as well. Cool. I don't know if anyone has played Inquisitor Martyr, but it gave me the idea of wanting to do a 2-handed chainsword. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit weird. You actually get an Eviscerator, which is a 2-handed chainsword in the old Firstborn Assault Squad box. So if you do have like a really old box lying around of like Assault Marines, you get a 2-handed chainsword in there. It's called the Eviscerator, and you just get one of them, which is a little bit annoying, I guess. But I mean, you can only have one on your sergeant, I believe. But yeah, I mean, if you wanted to do some sort of custom captain, that would be a cool kit bash to start with, where you give the sergeant like an Eviscerator or something, and then just if he needs to have a gun as well, you just slap it onto his waist or something. Oh right, the Vindicator Laser Destroyer pops the Land Raider in a single turn. Wow. Land Raiders are in a weird place though, right? Like, I guess all armor is, you know, like armor obviously all lost the core, they have no invulnerable saves. It's really difficult to run armor in 9th edition, I find. I've run a Land Raider like twice, I've run a Pulsar like twice, and run a Storm Raven like once, but like never once did I feel that they really brought that much to the table, and or never once did I feel like, oh, the Land Raider was really survivable, right? Like it just didn't feel like it was a good option. And it's a pity because I have both a regular Land Raider, you know, the one with the twin-linked las cannons on both sides and the twin heavy bolter, but I also have the Crusader, which is the more like Blood Angels. It's not a Blood Angels themed Land Raider, but it feels like it would be better themed for Blood Angels, right? Because it's got those Hurricane Bolters, it's got the twin assault cannon, so generally it just mows away a load of chaff units, and then your troops, Terminators or whatever else you've got in the Land Raider, can just pile out and engage those high value targets. So I really like the Crusader, and obviously the Crusader carries more units as well, but like, unless you're going to take a Psyker and Shield of Sanguinius it, or like Psychic Bubble it, but then you're also relying on, you need to get first turn at that point, right? Because your opponent can still shoot it off the table before you get your Psychic phase, so you can't cast the armor on it. So it's Land Raider's in a really difficult position. Paint a Vanguard unit honorably black, Blood Angels Commander. Do you know what? I suppose we could paint. We could paint. Oh, cool, Evan. So you actually did your giveaway today. Nice. Well, we have our giveaway on our channel tomorrow, so that'll be cool. Hey, Blood Angels Commander, 8 gig of RAM, and it says 7.73 available. Is that still okay for Diablo 2? I'm not wise with computers. Yeah, I think 8 gig of RAM will work fine for that for the new Diablo game. I don't think that'll be a problem. Good evening, Gabriel. How are you doing? Hope you're well tonight. Nice to see you. Just finished the combat patrol box. Did you actually buy the Blood Angels combat patrol box, or did you buy the Dark Angels combat patrol box? Because I guess some people are saying that they felt the Dark Angels one was better for Blood Angels than the Blood Angels one. I mean, it's maybe just because they put an Impulsor in the Blood Angels one, and the Impulsor is a weird choice, right? It's like, if you're going to run Blade Guard Veterans, then sure, the Impulsor is a good choice, but like, so many bloody, like, I have 7 Blade Guard Veterans, right? And I like them a lot. I think they're a great unit, but, and I'm trying to, you know, like, I'm going to play a game in like 10 days time, and I could take Blade Guard I could take Sanguinary Guard, Vanguard Veterans, and Blade Guard Veterans, but like, when you start looking at it and you just think about the mobility issue, like, I just feel like I really want to lean towards 2 Sanguinary Guard and a Vanguard Veteran, or 2 Vanguard Veteran and a Sanguinary Guard. Like, it just, I'm not sure. I just don't like the fact that they don't have jump packs. Like, I'm so used to all my units having jump packs. I think, you know, some people say that our biggest strength is our mobility, right? And I kind of agree with that. So, like, if you're gonna take Blade Guard Veterans, then you're gonna have to pay 100 points for an Impulsor to make them mobile. And at that point, are they as good? It's a big question mark for me. I think it's actually, Ross, I think it's actually the Salt box. Like, it'll literally be a Salt Marines. But where are you based, Ross? Are you in the UK, or are you in, what country are you in? Because if you're in the UK, I know a website that basically sells bits. So if you just wanted to buy the two-handed chainsword and you're willing to pay, like, I don't know, like $1.99 postage for it, it's better if you're buying a few bits at once. But if there's certain bits, rather than have to buy a whole box, if you just want bits for a kit bash, then I have a website that you can do that with, and it's pretty great actually. They don't always have stock, but like, they do restock fairly regularly. I just posted an example of Soul Haunters on the Facebook group. Alright, cool. Let's have a quick look at Soul Haunters, because I don't know what they are. 1 second. Facebook. Did you post it recently? Yeah. How do you? Recent posts. Oh right, is this it? Oh, when I click it, I just go to a Pinterest page with loads of different units. I'm not sure how to see it. Oh, it was the Dark Angels one. You wanted a Redemptor. Do you know what? I've got a Redemptor just off camera here that I want to try and slap some paint on. I'm not sure I'm going to get to it tonight, but I want to slap some paint on it before I get back to the tabletop. Again, just trying to quickly get 3 colours on it so that it doesn't look terrible if we are gonna use it. I'm going to pick that up for the Redemptor and the Interceptors. Yeah, I mean, Interceptors are a great choice for Blood Angels right now. They're in my top 10 list for units. It's weird because I know they're a super strong unit and they do generally do very well. I just seem to have terrible luck with plasma weapons and rolling ones. Honestly, last time I brought down a squad of Inceptors, I brought down I think it was a squad of 3, and I rolled enough ones to kill every unit twice, like every model twice over, right? Like, I was just like, oh my god, this is ridiculous. Fortunately, at that point, I had chosen not to fire them on high power. But yeah, I mean, if I'd chosen high power, I'd have lost my whole squad on the turn they turned up. So, I just have bad luck with with plasma weaponry. I generally just try and stay away from it, I guess. But Inceptors are great. They're a really good unit for sort of like that very powerful synergy from coming in from Deep Strike, especially with the Descent of the Angels stratagem, right? Like, obviously hitting on 2s, re-rolling 1s with 2 damage, strength 7 or 8, I don't remember off the top of my head, but, you know, it's very, very strong. I think it's strength 8 on high power, I think there's strength 7 on low. I love that Blade Guard veterans get... I'd love that Blade Guard veterans get jump packs. I've actually started Blade Angels just for them. Yeah, I mean, it's sad that not enough of the Primaris stuff has jump packs yet. Hopefully it's coming, right? Like, I feel like they've got to release some jump pack stuff for Primaris and 9th edition. Yeah, like, surely they have to release something, because... Do you know what? There's actually a sentence in the Blood Angels Codex about how much Blood Angels Primaris units like jump packs as well. So I don't know if that's a troll or a typo, or the lower guy didn't speak to the guy that's making the models, or what. But there's 100% a sentence in there that talks about how the Blood Angels Primaris units love jump packs. So make of that what you will, I guess. I have a 2,000 point list with a Land Raider, Predator, and 3 Razor Blacks, plus Stengard, and I play CF though. Yeah, I mean, that's so much armor. I mean, I don't know if the Predator feels super... I don't know if the Predator feels super competitive to me either right now. Like, if I have... The points for a Predator are basically the same points as a Redemptor, right? The Redemptor has one... Actually, I was going to say it's got 1 more wound. It doesn't. I think the Redemptor has 2 more wounds than the Predator. And it also has -1 to damage from its Duty Eternal. And, I mean, I'd be surprised if the Predator really does any more damage than Redemptor. I mean, maybe a tiny bit, but it's not core, so you can't buff it. It's not Dreadnought, so you can't use Wisdom of the Ancient to buff units round it. You don't have a melee weapon, obviously, like the Redemptor has, and the Redemptor's melee weapon is actually sick. I think it's D3 plus 3 damage. I think it used to be D6, but I think they made it D3 plus 3. So the Redemptor's melee weapon is literally disgustingly strong. So it's just so much more of a threat to me than a Predator, and it costs basically exact same number of points. So for me, like, I actually own 3 or 4 Predators. Like, I'm just not running them. I actually want to buy a 3rd Redemptor, but I've got no interest. The only reason I want a 3rd Redemptor actually is because one of the 2 that I've got is easy to build model, and I want 2 that's got the plasma cannon and the onslaught cannon. I think that's the strongest choice for the Redemptor. I never run plasma. I hate killing myself, says Tony. Yeah, I mean, I just must have bad luck when I run plasma, because I literally always kill myself. I've run Inceptors, like, let's say I've run them in 3 games, and do you know what, they've done the same thing for me that Outriders did, right? Like, I've obviously, since I've run them in the games, I've done Mathhammer videos on them and stuff, and I've looked at I've mathed it out, and I'm like, wow, Inceptors do a lot of damage. They are 100%, like, I'd say they're a top 10 meta pick right now. But when I've run them in my games, they just haven't performed for me, and I guess that's why I try and dive into all the maths on the weekly videos and stuff, because sometimes you do pick up a unit, and you know what, it just doesn't perform for you. For example, Outriders just didn't perform for me either. Like, I run Outriders in like 2 or 3 games. I never once had a game where I was like, wow, those Outriders did so much work. But, you know, maybe the enemy just saw them as a big threat and shot them off the table, and then I just went like, oh, those Outriders did nothing. They just got shot and killed. And I had a few, you know, so I guess my question with the Inceptors is, like, I had a few games where they just didn't perform, and as such, like, I guess I just didn't really want to keep fielding them. Like, you don't want to keep fielding a unit that didn't perform, but I guess yeah, when we did the math for them, I was like, oh damn, these things actually do a ton of damage when you work out the math. So I think Inceptors are a great unit, but maybe I'm also a bit unlucky when it comes to rolling ones on plasma weaponry. Maybe it's just like my nemesis. I ordered 2 Redemptors today and I blame it all you on Commander. Well, awesome, man. Make sure you build them. Make sure you put the right weapon option on them, or you'll be like me and trying to buy another one. But I generally, I already did a video on the Redemptor, so I mean, go watch that video for sure. But off the top of my head, I believe it's the Macro Plasma and the Onslaught Cannon are 100% the best option. I don't think that many units try and charge a Redemptor either because of that stupidly powerful fist, and I guess that's why I don't really think it needs the heavy flamer, right? Because, like, who's charging a unit that does flat 6 damage with a fist and has 13 wounds and -1 to damage? Like, they'd have to be pretty confident they're going to kill it in the fight phase. Otherwise, it's going to return a ton of like, well, just a ton of damage, I guess. So, yeah, that's why I don't think a heavy flamer is the right choice on, and I've got the easy to build one, and it's cool and it's painted, but I guess like I don't know how often I'm fielding the easy to build one, I guess. I think as well against armor and stuff, the Macro's ability to sometimes luck out and get 6 shots is pretty good too. At critical times in the battle, that can actually be quite a good boost at times, I guess. BA Commander has a lot to answer for. I'm sorry, guys. I just honestly, I just wanted. This is why, like, a lot of my stuff is like half painted, I guess, right? Because I start painting something and then I find something that's stronger, and then I just instantly drop what I'm doing and move on to what's stronger. So, I mean, I'm my own worst enemy as well. But do you know what? What goes around does come back, right? For example, like I have a 6 aggressors painted, and I don't think I've run aggressors at all in 9th edition. But I mean, I'm not worried about it. I'm sure at some point aggressors will get a buff or something will change, and aggressors will be popular again. So, I mean, if you buy something and you don't get it finished, then it'll come back. I'm sure it'll come back. The rules change all the time. I mean, look at Terminators. Terminators were absolutely useless. I think at the beginning of 8th edition, they didn't even give them 2 wounds. So you had these 1 wound Terminators that were like 30 or 40 points of pop, and they're just dying left, right, and centre, and they're absolutely useless. But now, I mean, with the 3 wounds and stuff, we see a lot of lists with Terminators in them, right? So, yeah, I think whatever's not good today doesn't mean it's not going to be good in 6 months, doesn't mean it's not going to be good next edition. So, yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. I had good luck with Outriders for their durability, not necessarily their damage output. Played Dakari and they were tied up so much of the board, they were hard to kill. Yeah, I mean, Outriders are hard to kill, right, with their toughness 5, and I guess they are very mobile. Maybe, maybe I charged them against the wrong targets. Like, I think in one of the games I charged them into a squad of aggressors and I was really unimpressed with them, but then maybe that's just, they only do have chainswords, and it was early game because they are mobile and fast, so maybe that was just the wrong choice, and that's maybe on me. But yeah, we'll do a video on Outriders soon enough, I'm sure. I mean, my goal is to have a video for every single unit in the Blood Angels and Space Marine Codex, I guess, so you guys can check on everything, and I guess probably by the time I'm finished that, it'll be time to do 10th edition videos, so we'll just keep it going, right? I do like your idea of painting a squad of Vanguard veterans black as like honourable death company if we aren't if I'm not running Death Company right now, just because I feel like the Vanguard veterans are better in 9th edition. You know, the Death Company do have a very cool and iconic look. And I guess that's kind of the reason that I've decided to give these guys a bit of a gold base, right? Because it's like, I think the reason that I was doing this is because I've been painting so many troops and other units red that I was like, I don't want to paint another squad red. I want to change, so I decided to go with a gold color scheme for the Vanguard veterans. But yeah, I mean, maybe we'll do maybe in the future we'll do a squad black as well. Like maybe just 5 of them or something. That might be quite cool. I think that's one of the cool things about Blood Angels is that you can kind of, the way I see it is we have our 3 colors, you know, black, red, and gold, and you know, do whatever you want within those colors, you know. I mean, I know some people like to stick to the chapter or the codex really closely, I guess, and but for me, I just like to have fun and make things look different and you know, a little bit distinct, or a little bit, you know, like try and give the army a little bit of my own personality, I guess is what I'm saying. I magnetize the main weapons and have bolters, onslaught cannon, secondary. Yeah, do you know what? It's not a bad idea to magnetize the Redemptor. Something to be said when calculating variance when math hammer. Yeah, I mean, when weapons have variance, when I'm calculating the math hammer, I just always take the average. So, right, if it was like an average of, if it said D6 shots, then the average of rolling the D6 is 3.5. So we just work it out on like 3.5. And I do that for like damage and stuff as well. Like we just have to take the average. So if it's like D3 damage, then the average would be 2. So we just work out all the math on like a 2. But I mean, you know, any unit that has a random number of shots or anything that has like a random damage, then there's always going to be a swing. You know, you have good dice rolls, you have bad dice rolls. I mean, the math hammer is more about like letting you know, like if you charge 10 Vanguard veterans with lightning claws into a Leviathan Dreadnought, what will happen? You know, like, will they make the kill? Will they not make the kill? And you know, like, I guess the idea of the math hammer will be like, yeah, okay, most of the time they should make that kill and have 3 or 4 damage left over. So you would say on average, like if you were going to do that on the tabletop, if you're wondering, then I would say that's like a high probability, like it'd be a good charge to make, right? And I guess that's all the math hammer can give you, right? It can never give you anything more than that. It can basically mean that you're a bit more informed, I guess. And if you're informed and you know what things are going to do, then you know, potentially, you know, it just gives you a slight edge over your opponent. Maybe, you know, you make the high probability plays and maybe they don't, for example. I am not sure how to say that. Aptifin painting. Sorry for butchering that, but thank you very much for the follow, brother. I appreciate it. I've got a few of them I don't really use. You've got a few what? Redemptors you don't really use. Why not? They're literally one of our best. They're in the top 10 units, I would say, right now, a Redemptor. I'm pretty sure I had them on my top 10 list. I was going to make a video on my top 10 of 9th edition right now. The easy to build probably wouldn't make my top 10, but the regular one with the macro and onslaught for sure would make my top 10. It's arguably one of the most survivable things for the points cost as well. Magnets are the greatest. Yeah, I mean, I'm magnetizing some of these. Some of these arms are magnetized. Just because. But yeah, I mean, if you're not sure about your loadouts, yeah, I mean, magnets are your best friend. Black with gold helmets, maybe. Yeah, do you know what? That's maybe an interesting option. I mean, we could make a video on Predators. I mean, I don't know what you want me to say, except like the video on Predators could literally be Predators are not good right now, don't pick them, and that could be the end of it. But I mean, it's probably not fair. I mean, that I guess if we were going to have to do a video on Predators, right, we would compare it against something else. So we could compare the Predator against the Redemptor Dreadnought, as I really think it would fall flat on its face. But I don't know if we could just do a video on the Predator only, because like it's a bit of a weird right now, and the Predators are just not. Even the Ball Predator, I just feel like it's not good. I mean, if you're not playing super competitively, I'm sure it's fine. But if you're playing competitively, like I don't think anyone picks a Predator for competitive play right now. And I mean that's the problem with all the armor, right? Like I don't think anyone really like a repulsor for competitive play. It's like 350 points for a repulsor. Like no one's picking that in competitive. A Land Raider just shy of 300 points, like 285. I mean, you might see a Land Raider in competitive because it has the 2+ save, but I feel like you're not going to most of the time. Maybe there's some niche army that could fit a Land Raider, but like 90% of the time you're not going to see a Land Raider. So a lot of the armor is in a weird state, especially how they gave all the Dreadnoughts Duty Eternal, and then they gave the armor basically no core and nothing. So it seems a bit mad. These shields are from Cromlech. Kromlech, I believe, and I believe they're the website is cromlech.eu. And I did all my Vanguard veterans with these shields. They seem fairly decent quality. They're just a third-party reseller. I think I found them on eBay. But I mean, if you're looking for storm shields, because Games Workshop don't sell storm shields, so unless you're going to pay a stupid amount of money on eBay, then I think your best option is to look for some sort of custom place that's going to sell, you're going to sell you packs of like custom 5 storm shields or something. Oh, I use the hell out of... Oh, Aggressors, yeah. I mean, I haven't used Aggressors in 9th edition at all. Which is sad, because you know what? I used Aggressors a lot in 8th edition. I thought they were such a... They're a unit like that had a high skill cap, right? Because like basically if you could position them where they didn't need to move in a turn, then they did so much with their bolters and the double shooting. You know, you got like 18 bolter shots per Aggressor or something. Excuse me. So if you had like 6 of them and you got them positioned, like I ran them as 2 squads of 3, and if you got them in a great position where they didn't need to move, you know, you could be dropping out like 100 bolter shots. I mean, it's only bolters, sure, but like if the enemy has like troops or anything, you could just absolutely destroy. You know, I mean, I even saw someone kill like a Land Raider with Aggressor shooting just because he had so many shots. Maybe it wasn't a Land Raider, but I mean, it was some sort of heavy armor, like toughness 8 armor. It must have been a Land Raider, because if it was toughness 8, yeah, because he was only wounding on 6s, but he had like 200 shots or something ridiculous. But I guess that's probably why they had to take away the number of shots that they had, just because it was a little bit ridiculous. Especially if you had like reroll hits and wounds, it was nuts. And the Relic you know what? The Relic Contemptor I think is still good. I think they're better now with the new Volkite cannons than I think the Las cannons are kind of overcosted on them now. But I think if you took a Relic Contemptor with the Volkite cannons, I think they'd be pretty good. I'm so excited to finally have a Redemptor coming in. Congrats, man. I know that the Redemptors have been out of stock, or they've been really difficult to get a hold of for a while. I mean, as I say, they're really popular, and they're just a solid pick all round, I guess, the Redemptors. And I've seen some people run like a couple of them with Blood Angels, so like 2 Redemptors, and I think that can totally work for us, because you know they soak up a ton of fire and they have to be dealt with as they march across, because if you're not going to deal with them, they're going to do a bit of damage with their plasmas, and they're also going to be very scary if they ever get into melee combat. So yeah, they have to be dealt with, and it can buy our jump units the time they need, or it can free up. You know, it can absorb a lot of firepower due to that duty eternal as well. So I like a Redemptor a lot. Yeah, my videos are never 30 seconds, right? They're like super long. I don't always try and make them so damn long. I just feel like there's always so much to cover with the rules, man. I've tried a few times to make a short video. Like, I did it a couple of times and people just said, like, we felt like you rushed it. And I was like, yeah, because I was trying to make it short. So I think I've kind of given up trying to make them super short because there's always too much to cover. I mean, if there is a reason to have a super short video, then I can have one. But yeah, I've kind of given up on trying to make them super short, I guess. Yeah, I mean, especially, you're right, Games Workshop do change all the stuff. I actually have all my Death Company models with, what is it? All my Death Company models have bolters, and bolters aren't allowed this edition, so it would have been great if I'd known that. But yeah, like, mine aren't magnetized, and they all have bolters, so I guess if I play against someone, I just have to tell them, like, no, these are all bolt pistols now, because Games Workshop changed that they can't have bolters anymore, and it's super annoying, but I guess it is what it is, right? I have to get something positive for the Predator, compare it to a Gladiator, and show if nothing else. Yeah, do you know what? The Gladiator is in the same spot though, right? Like, it suffers from no invulnerable save. I mean, it's got, I think the Gladiator is toughness 8, so I think it's got that going for it. But I mean, apart from that, and the Gladiator is pretty expensive, right? Like, I think you're 250 plus points for some of those Gladiators, if I remember correctly. I mean, I did a video on them, but honestly, like, when I see an armor with no invulnerable save for 250 plus points, I'm instantly like, yeah, I'm not taking that. That's a crazy amount of points to just potentially have it be shot off by the enemy without really any difficulty. And I mean, I think the Gladiator only had like 12 wounds as well or something. Yeah, just if we're sat here saying Land Raider isn't survivable, the Land Raider's got like 3 or 4 more wounds and it's got 1+ better on its armor save, so the Gladiator is definitely not survivable. And I guess that's the thing with the Predators as well, right? They just aren't going to be survivable. And also, is the shooting on the Predator really that strong? You know, like, what is it, like 2 las cannons? You're only going to hit on 3s. There's no way to get rerolls. I mean, it doesn't seem, you know, like 180 points for 2 las cannons. I know there's an autocannon on there as well, but I mean, really, what's going to do the damage is the las cannons, right? So yeah, it's a really, I guess both of them are a really weird situation that, like, I just can't see, unless they change something with armor, I can't see armor being picked that often really at all. I love my Redemptor, as a matter of fact. About to get 2 more Dark Angel box kits because I need the Inceptors as well. Yeah, I mean, the other cool thing about the Redemptor is if you bring in your Inceptors from Deep Strike near the Redemptor, you can pop the Wisdom of the Ancient as well to give those Inceptors those critical reroll 1s, right? And, you know, that just, it's just, sometimes it's maybe a little bit about synergies as well. Like, there's a great synergy that you can use. Your Redemptor's probably going to be alive for a little while because of that -1 damage, you know? So, there's a great synergy you can use that you obviously can't use with the Predator. So, I guess you just have to think about all these things when you're building your army list. Alright, gents, it's late. Thanks for tuning in, Origin. Maybe we'll see you tomorrow. And congrats again on reaching 500 subs, man. You deserve it. Really enjoy your videos. Oops. It is getting late. I just flicked a model across over all the other ones. this Vanguard veteran really did think he could fly. Tanks are bad, then cut to filler for 25 minutes. Yeah, I mean, we could have a troll video where, like, tanks are bad, here's what you need to pick instead of tanks, and then, like, 25 minutes of me talking about other units, and then just at the end and just be like, oh, that reminded me of that South Park episode when he's like, drugs are bad, and K, you know. Wow, that's an old episode. That South Park episode must be like, South Park's on like season 30 or something ridiculous like that. Honestly, never thought South Park would make that many seasons, but that must be like season 1 or 2 or something. Like, that is going back like 20 plus years, I guess. That's why the Achilles has some value for me. It's over 300 points, but it's tough to say. It's got the 2+, it's got the invulnerable save, and the Tech Marine can make it BS2. Yeah, do you know what? I have no problem with the Achilles. Like, I've got no problem if your tank has an invulnerable save. And the Achilles obviously does that, and it does still have that toughness 8. And I know it is a little bit more points, but like, I would pay those points for the Achilles 100% of the time because of the invulnerable save, right? Like, I think at that point, it's an okay unit. A bit like how I suppose like a Leviathan Dreadnought is a bit more expensive, but the Leviathan Dreadnought obviously has, like, the Leviathan Dreadnought loses the core ability, right? But it gets the invulnerable save, and sometimes, like, 9th edition is a lot about being alive and being on objectives and stuff like that. Sometimes being alive is arguably the most important thing, not just for 9th edition, but also for anything, right? Like, how do you score your secondaries if your units aren't alive and stuff? So, like, I have no problem paying a bit more points for an invulnerable save. And I guess that's essentially what you're paying for with the Achilles, right? Like, the only difference is it gets that 5+ invulnerable save, which basically, you know, it's a big deal, I think. And you can still pop smoke. And I think because the Land Raider is a machine spirit vehicle, correct me if I'm wrong here, I'm pretty sure Land Raider is a machine spirit vehicle, so you can pay this CP to have it operate at max profile. I forget what the name of the stratagem is. It's something like, I think it's just called Machine Spirit, maybe. But basically, you can pay a couple of CP. I think it's 2. I think you pay 2 CP in any turn, and then the Land Raider will operate at full profile, regardless of how many wounds it's got left. So, you know, if you're paying a little bit more for a Land Raider like that, and the Achilles also has like 8 multi-melta shots a turn on it, I believe, because it's got 2 twin-link multi-meltas. So that is 8 multi-melta shots, and there's also the Achilles also has like another cannon, which is like the same. It's the same deal, right? It's like strength 8 -3, 2 damage, and it can do like 6 shots as well. So yeah, I don't actually own an Achilles, but I did look on Forge World. I think they're completely sold out on Forge World, so I think they may even have been discontinued on Forge World, because I think I emailed them about it a while ago. So I don't know how you get hold of an Achilles now, but like, are they still good? Yeah, I think they are pretty good. I would run an Achilles if I owned one for sure. So Land Raiders still good if you can get an invulnerable save, I guess is my verdict. I mean, last edition the Achilles had that 4+ save, so that would have been pretty crazy. But I mean, 5+ for a toughness 8 is probably fine, right? The Leviathan Dreadnought, I think, when I've been doing Math Hammer, the Leviathan Dreadnought is one of the strongest and most survivable things we can field, and it's only toughness 7 and 5+ invulnerable save. Mind you, it does have Duty Eternal, so I guess that does weigh in a little bit as well. Origin does have some quality videos. Yeah, I mean, Origin's always painting Blood Angels as well, which is nice. And he uses an airbrush, which I never do. So if anyone wants to see airbrushing, then you know, you can check out his channel for sure. So he's always painting Blood Angels with an airbrush. And yeah, do you know what? He actually painted a model for me, which I think I'm going to give away to members at some point over the next few weeks. I've got some other models that I'm going to give away to members. So I guess we'll do like a members only. We've got the big giveaway going out tomorrow, but I guess we'll have like a members giveaway going out probably in the next month or so. Yeah, sounds like everybody has a backlog of stuff that they need to do, don't they? Um, I've actually got quite a bit of painting done during this lockdown we've done in here in the UK. So I think hopefully it means that none of the models that I'll be streaming with will have any, like, none of them will be grey or none of them will just be sprayed red, because I mean, it's fine when you're painting an army to have some stuff in progress, but I was trying to get to a point where, like, I wasn't playing with anything that's not got at least 3 colours on it, so it doesn't look like terrible or lazy or whatever you want to call it. I am generally the slowest painter in the world, though. Awaken the machine spirit. Thank you, Adrian. Yeah, so there is a stratagem. Awaken the machine spirit puts the vehicle back in its top bracket. So, I mean, that's super useful if you're going to spend 300 points on a Land Raider that's got, like, basically 10 multi-melta shots. Then you're going to get a lot of value out of that. Like, that's a like, sometimes I talk about, like, you'll hear me say it when we get to play live again. Like, literally, sometimes I will say, like, value CP. And I guess what that means is, like, if I say value CP, it means that, like, those CP I just spent provided me with some real value, right? And, like, I guess ideally you never want to pay CP and feel like they're not value CP, but, like, sometimes in a battle you can pay CP and they just, you know, you pay CP for a reroll for a hit or a number of shots or something and you just get nothing, and it's like, well, that was a huge waste of CP. But then other times you could pay a quote-unquote value CP, and it's like a CP you spend on something and it instantly provides, like, really good value. Or maybe it doesn't necessarily need to be instantly, you know, like, maybe it's something like you smoke screen a vehicle and then, like, your opponent shoots it and has a really bad roll, and the smoke screen means that he actually misses, like, 3 multi-melta shots or something. So he ends up just hitting it once with the multi-melta, as opposed to, if you hadn't spent the CP, you would have hit it all 4 times, you know? Like, maybe you changed it from, like, hitting on 2s to hitting on 3s or something, and he rolled a bunch of 2s, you know? And it's like, that's a value CP, right? So, I kind of think if you have a Land Raider that's got 8 multi-melta shots and it's really wounded and you pay the CP to bring it back to full profile for a turn, I feel like that's value CP straight away right there, right? I mean, sure, you could still have a really terrible roll, but, like, it feels like it's a big enough buff that it would probably be worth doing. Especially if you've got the Tech Marine there to awaken it as well. So basically, it could be profiled, it could have 1 wound left, it could be hitting on 5s, pay your CP and you have a Tech Marine awaken it, all of a sudden it's hitting on 2s again, you know? That's a value CP for sure. Yeah, the Achilles Quad Cannon has 4d3, strength 4, 0, 1 damage, and that's indirect fire, or it is heavy 4. Yeah, so it's basically like a... It's almost like a las fusel or something, right? Like it's kind of like just, it's kind of weird. I guess maybe it's even more like it's like a heavy plasma on, but then it's interesting that it also has the indirect fire for the 4d3 shots as well. So if for some reason you've got no targets, you can still shoot it indirect fire at something. So yeah, I don't know. I think an Achilles is a good pick. I like it a lot. Maybe I need to try and keep my eye on eBay and get my hands on an Achilles. I mean, I forget. I think the Achilles just transports 5 units, though, right? Like, it's a pretty low transport. Can you compare the size between Primaris minis and the Firstborn minis? I can never find comparisons online, and the scale is something that really bothers me. Well, I mean, I've got a Primaris mini right here, and I've got a Firstborn mini. So this is a Primaris Librarian, and this is a Vanguard Veteran, and I guess they're really just head and shoulders above them. I've also got I've also got, like, a company veteran here as well, and again, maybe he's even a little bit bigger than it's head and shoulders basically above them. What do you want to find out, man? Like, you just say, Eduardo, you just say compare them. What are you actually needing to know, I guess, is my question. Like, you're comparing them to do what with them? Now you might hate me. The Achilles can exchange the 2 multi-meltas for 2 twin Volkite coverings. What's the profile on those Volkite coverings? Is it the same? Yeah, you have to remind me. I've done so much. I was going to say, I've done so many videos recently, and also it's 10 to midnight, and I was up today at like 7, and I didn't sleep well last night again because my daughter's got teeth coming in, so like I'm up a lot during the night at the moment. So yeah, my brain isn't working fully at 100% right now. Heavy 8, strength 6, 2 damage and mortal wounds on. So you get heavy 16 if you have 2 of them. Is that right? Blood Angels, and it reduces the cost from 360 to 340. Okay, interesting. That is actually very interesting. And what is it? Is it 5 models you can put in an Achilles? Because I think like you get a lot less transporter capacity, right? Dolph says, new to the game, maybe a dumb question, but are crack grenades worth bringing, or do you even have to pay extra points for them? So basically, every model on their datasheet, Dolph, will probably say includes frag and crack grenades just about. And are they worth bringing? To me, a grenade is almost like you're out of options, right? You've got nothing else to... For example, like the Vanguard veterans that I'm all arming with storm shields and lightning claws, they will have no guns, right? We've given up the guns to have the lightning claws. But one model in the unit will be able to throw a grenade, and... you know, both frag and crack grenades, they're generally shit. Like, the crack grenade is maybe a little bit better. Like, you might be able to sneak a wound off something, or like another infantry model, you might be able to kill a single model with a crack grenade. The frag grenade, I guess, if you're coming up against like loads of toughness less than 4 models, you might be able to kill a couple of them with a frag grenade, but they really are like... You throw a grenade when you've got nothing else you can do. It feels like. I know that sometimes you can spend points to take a grenade launcher on intercessors, and I guess that lets you shoot your grenade at like 30 inches or something, but like, honestly, if you can spend those 5 points anywhere else, I'd spend them elsewhere, right? Like, it's just not a high value pick. And normally... Like, we have a couple of characters that don't have guns, right? I think the Sanguiner maybe is a good example. Like, I think the Sanguiner just has a sword and he has a grenade. Astrath might have a bolt pistol. I don't remember off the top of my head. He might not, though. He might just have a grenade. And again, you're never going to do anything amazing with their grenade. You might get a kill on a single model. I wanted what you did, just a visual comparison. I was thinking about conversions, if the scale is really bothering, and I guess it really does. So, it depends on what you're trying to do conversion-wise, right? Like, I have a couple of captains that I run that are basically Primaris scale, but I just run them as regular captains. And they're basically just Primaris scale because I wanted to build some Primaris captains. Now, if we went to a tournament, as long as they're on the right size base, then technically I think that would be absolutely fine, right? But I mean, some people are converting like all their squads to Primaris size. Like, some people are making Primaris Sanguinary Guard and stuff like that. I haven't done any of that. I just, for the most part, the one thing that they said when they released the Primaris was that they said that shoulder pads and helmets are interchangeable, right? So you still use the same size helmet or shoulder pads between Firstborn and Primaris, but like the arms, the hands, the legs, they're all different scales, so you can kind of notice it. I'm trying to think, like, I had a few models where, yeah, I had a few of my Blade Guard veterans, I changed out their swords, right, for like Sanguinary Guard swords, and if you look up close, then you can see that like the hands seem a little bit small, you know, like I basically cut them off at the wrist. and it's like the hands are a little bit dinky, and I guess if you look at it closely, you'd be like, yeah, those hands don't quite look right. But no one's really investigating the size of the hands normally, so I think it's fine. But yeah, so basically, if you have a regular firstborn arm that has like a weapon option, like a sword or a thunderhammer or something, you stick that on a Primaris model, the arm will be a little bit too short, and also the hand will be a little bit too small, so it'll look a little bit out of place. So that's kind of where it stands. Yeah, I mean, I guess one model in the Death Company would have a Thunderhammer, so he doesn't have a gun, so he can throw a grenade. Same as like one model in the Vanguard Veteran Squad can throw the grenade, but like generally it doesn't do much, your grenade. I mean, you should always throw it, right? But like, just don't expect it to really do anything, I guess is what I'm saying. Lawrence from Team Tabletop Tactics has used Reaver bodies with their jump packs for awesome looking Death Company and Sanguine Guard. Do you know what? That's probably a really good shout. The Reavers are awesome as well because I believe you get 10 of them in the box, whereas like if you buy Vanguard Veterans or Sanguine Guard, you just get 5 in the box, right? So I guess the Reavers are awesome in that you get 10 in the box. They have those really cool masks. The Reaver helmets are like arguably some of the coolest helmets. Even if you didn't use them on your conversions, take their helmets and use them on other characters. I just put one on my Chapter Master today, actually, one of the Reaver helmets. So the Reaver helmets are generally very cool. And yeah, I mean, I guess they have jump packs as well. And I have actually used Reavers from conversions myself. And because they have like in the box you get Reavers with bolt pistols, you get them with the bolt carbines, and you also get the knife arm, like an arm that just holds a knife. It's very easy to just chop that knife off and replace it with like a chain sword or something else if you needed to change the weapon options. So I've actually used a bunch of the spare Reaver bits, and it was one of the nicer kits to work with. So I guess like if you're going to try and do some sort of Primaris conversion, then Reavers might be a really good box to pick up to give you like a lot of cool options and also a bit of like cool theming. And the Reavers kind of have those awesome looking helms that we talked about, so you could theme them very cool. Do you know what? Give me 1 second here. I'll paint these 2 bases and I'll just do it now. I have Reavers painted as Death Company. 1 second. Yeah, these guys I did a while back, but like, this is a Reaver, and he's just painted as Death Company essentially. So, kind of tried to do his jump packs or his fin things, what they're called, grav shoots, in a bit of Death Company colors. This is actually a sergeant, so he's got like this is probably a Sanguinary Guard head on him. This is a bolt carbine because it's a sergeant, and obviously it's a Blood Angel specific helmet. But do you know what? Just looking at this guy, just picking him up and putting him next to, like, they are very cool size-wise, right? They are a bit beefier. You know, it just feels like a much more substantial model when you're up close like this. Like, when they're on the tabletop, I don't think it's an issue, but like seeing them together side by side like this, the Reaver does look awesome. And then here's one with the Reaver skull helmet. So again, it's Death Company. I kind of butchered his face a little bit on this one. Let me see. It's not quite as neat as it could be, but these were painted a couple of years ago. These were painted at the start of the 8th edition, I guess, when Reavers first came out. And I was convinced that Reavers were going to be like I was convinced that they were going to be the Primaris jump troops. So I bought a box of 10 of them and actually did 5 of them like the Death Company like this. I should have probably finished them all, but Yeah, I mean, they're, like, you could convert them into... I'd probably advise buying those Reavers over buying Death Company Intercessors. I think you'd have more... You'd be able to do something cooler with the Reavers than you would with the Death Company Intercessors, but, I mean, I guess that's just me. What are people usually like with proxying units? I built a couple of my first units before I knew the weapons. I think someone answered already in chat, but yeah, in friendly games, people have no problem proxying. At least in my, I'll actually tell people to proxy like proxy tanks and stuff. Like, right, it's an expensive hobby, so if we're just gonna have a casual game and you're on the fence about buying a tank, then just, if you've got another tank that's the same size, then just proxy the tank or proxy the dreadnought. Like, like, I'm totally fine with people proxying as long as we all agree it before the board, and it's not like halfway through the game and you're like, oh, by the way, this is a Land Raider, and I was like, but it's not, So in non-tournament play, I'm totally fine with people proxying stuff, and because me and my friends are really competitive. We even tell you, like, go if you think it's gonna, if you wanted to buy that unit and you're not sure, then proxy it in a couple of games, and then you'll decide if you want to buy it, because, like I said, it's an expensive hobby. Plus, it's also a time-consuming hobby, right? Like, you don't want to buy something and then spend 100 hours painting it, or however many hours it takes you, and then be like, oh well, this is actually doesn't synergize with anything else on my list, and it's actually shit for me, So. You just need to make sure you find a group that you can do that with, and you'll be fine. I've seen a few people using Stormcast Eternal minis and dressing them up a touch to make Sanguinary Guard. Yeah, I've seen that as well. I don't know exactly which Stormcast models they're buying, but they do generally look very cool. So I have seen that 100%, Ross. Use the Reaver helmets for Death Company skull helmets. Yeah, I mean, the Reavers look great, man. Like, it's sad that the Reavers have shit rules in 9th edition. Let's be honest here. Like, the rules are just terrible. So, like, I have these 5 painted up. I think they look pretty badass. I'd love to run them, but yeah, I just don't, because the rules are shit. How do you feel about kit bashing Vanguard veteran using Primaris bodies? Hey, Will. Yeah, I mean, the one thing I would say is, like, if you're kit bashing, is if you're not modelling for advantage, then it's absolutely fine. And what I mean by that is, if you had Sanguinary Guard, right, and you're going to decide to model them as Primaris, but you decide you're not going to stick the wings on them, so they're actually smaller than the regular ones, then that's what you would call modelling for advantage. So as long as you aren't modelling for advantage, then at, like, a tournament or anything like that, it should be absolutely fine. You might need to declare what you've done, but it should be absolutely fine, right? If you're modelling for advantage, for example, you're making a model smaller, so it's harder to see or it's harder to shoot. You've got a banner bearer and you just decide to cut the banner off. Fuck it, he's not wearing, he's not got the banner on him. Then you're modelling for advantage, and that's not cool. So just keep that in mind when you're doing conversions. So as long as you're not making anything smaller, or you're Another thing I've seen is, like, models that come on flight stands, like suppressors. Like, I've seen people not use the flight stands, so they're just on the bases. And that, again, that's modelling for advantage, right? Because, like, suppressors are supposed to be on flight stands, so you can't hide them behind, like, a low building, right? Like, they're a flying unit. So as long as you're not modelling for advantage, it's fine. And I guess that would be the same for intercessors, right? Intercessors should be on flight stands or something equivalent. Blood Angels Commander, I like the idea of the black helmet, white face, and red eyes. Kind of reminds me of the old Legion of the Damned kit. Yeah, I mean, the Reavers are just a fun unit. Those guys were really fun to paint. It took me a long time, but yeah, I don't know why they didn't make Reavers Death Company Primaris. They would have been better. Yeah, the Reaver kits are super nice, right? Like, just seeing those guys like that actually makes me want to go finish and paint the other 5 of them. I'm getting a Knight Azeroth from Age of Sigmar to make a Dante conversion. That's cool. Just because I hate the size difference. I know it's fluffy, but it looks wrong. I don't actually hate the size difference. You know, my army is a mix between Primaris and regular Marines, and I don't really have much problems with them being a little bit of a different size. I think you just get used to it. But I mean, I guess maybe if you hate it, you hate it. You know, and I guess that's up to you. Have Reavers ever had good rules? No. I guess no, not really, but yeah, I mean, I think I just bought them at the beginning of 8th because they look cool, right? And I mean, maybe I wanted the skull helmet. Do you know what? I'll show you because he's on the table behind me. So here's my chapter master on the bike that I'm making, and he is a Reaver, or his helmet is a Reaver, right? So it's a pretty dope helmet, right? It's like friggin' Skeletor or something from Master of the Universe. And this is going to be my new chapter master on a bike, and this is a conversion, right? So this is like an old bike. I think this was an old bike that used to be a chaplain on a bike, because this part is metal. And then this is a bit off the front of a Ball Predator, I think. This is a bit off a Death Company Dreadnought, like one of the weapon casting arms. And then this guy is obviously the biker body. I think it's a Death Company chest piece. I think that's a Sanguinary Guard shoulder piece. Some random Thunderhammer. I think that's a Death Company backpack. And then the Reaver helmet. So, I mean, this guy is a bit of a kit bash, but he's coming to play next battle. He's not finished. I'd say he's like 80 or 90%. I got like maybe 2 or 3 more hours to finish this guy. As I say, I'm the slowest painter you'll ever see. But yeah, I mean, I think the Reaver helmets are super dope. I like them a lot. Reavers obsolete immediately when they came out. What were GW thinking? The rules obviously didn't like the... Yeah. How long did 8th edition last? 2 years and change, I guess, I think. Maybe? Yeah, maybe 2 years for 8th edition. Yeah, okay, someone's saying early 2018 to July 2020. Yeah, I think 9th might last a little bit longer just because COVID has slowed everything down, the releases of the books and stuff. Did it come with that base? I've seen some from a while back and they have a small rectangular base. I think some of them came with the small rectangular base, some of them came with that round base. I actually bought that round base is buyable from like the official GW store. Like just go to gw.com and you can buy that round base for like $1.99, or you can buy a pack with a few of them in it for like $3.99, I think. So I put the round base on both of them. Now that you mention it, I super hope it's valid. But I think it's a weird one because some of those bikes from ages ago came with no bases. And I guess, I know attack bikes came with no bases, like the ones with the multi-melta sidecars. So if they came with no bases, technically they should have no base. But I mean, I guess I've put them on a base. Death Company captain on a bike with a relic hammer. Yeah, I'm running a chapter master on a bike with a. That's a chapter master, but I also have a Death Company one as well. I'm actually working on both of them right now. That's cool. I mean, new people join the hobby all the time, so welcome to the hobby, man. It's good to have you. But yeah, guys, it's just past midnight, so I'm actually going to take off. We have the live show tomorrow at 4 o'clock. If you haven't yet put a comment on the Leviathan video from last week, please put a comment on that and you'll have a chance to win 3 kits that we're giving away on the live show tomorrow. Obviously on the live show we're always doing, so that's at 4 p.m. UK time. And it'll be live for maybe 2.5 hours as we talk mainly about army lists tomorrow. So we'll have the giveaway, we'll be talking about army lists, and obviously we'll be taking questions from chat as always. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. If you did enjoy the stream, please hit that like button. It really helps me out. And yeah, hopefully we'll see a bunch of you guys tomorrow. Should be a good stream, and we should, and hopefully some of you regular guys win in the giveaway, because, I mean, we'll do the giveaway live on the stream, and it'll randomly pick people, so I'll have no control over who wins. But it'll be really nice if some of you regular suspects win the giveaway. That'd be really nice. And yeah, I think we will do a members only giveaway as well. So then if for some reason none of the members win tomorrow, which I guess could happen, I think we'll do a members only giveaway either later this month or next month. So yeah, have a great night, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. It's been fun hanging out. We do hang out pretty much every Thursday night and every Saturday night. We always hang out, and then we usually have new videos usually every Tuesday and Friday. And then the week beginning the 15th of March, so like 10 days from now, well, not even 10 days, 8 days from now, that's exciting. 8 days from now, we are going back to our well, on the 15th, we're probably going to stream the entire day, because I'm just going to take the day off work and we're going to play Warhammer for the entire day. So we'll probably stream multiple games. But after that, every Monday night, we're going to get back to live streaming a game every Monday. So you can... and we play different armies every week. Obviously, we'll always be playing Blood Angels, because that's the only army I play. But we'll be playing against everything from Death Guard to Custodes to Eldar to World Eaters. Like, I have pretty much every army that I need to battle against will be there. So that's going to begin, I guess, Monday the 22nd, if we're back on Monday the 15th. So, cool. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Hope you have a good weekend. And we'll see some of you tomorrow at 4 p.m. Alright, by the blood are we made. Peace.